Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is for the Twinflame Collective. I have put out a spread and there are a lot of big cards here, so it's going to be an interesting reading. Let's go straight to the bottom of the deck, and we have got Nine of Wands. This is sometimes known as the Wounded Warrior, feeling like you've reached the end with something that you cannot go on. I think I'm going to take the top card to go with it. Another huge card. So we have the Star. The Star is wishes coming true. So you can't go on with a wish that you wanted to come true. Was that to stay in connection with your twin flame? Possibly. Of all my decks, the Star in this deck, the Aquarian Tarot, is by far the most beautiful. I don't know if you can see it properly, but there is a peacock with a beautiful star above. The peacock is a masculine bird. So this could be coming from the feminine perspective, that you are about to give up on a wish that you wanted to come true involving the masculine, perhaps. If you are a masculine watching, I just don't think you know how to proceed. I think you might also have given up, but for a different reason. I think that your ideal is still to have the feminine. Because, you know, the Star is everything here. But if you pair it with the Nine, there is a real energy of not knowing how to proceed or what to do. Yeah. Being ground down by the whole thing, I think the feminine's just about given up. I think the masculine is still feeling wounded, actually. This connection has wounded the masculine and he doesn't know what to do. He can't see a way to navigate. He's not sure how to move forward either with or without the feminine. That's how it feels to me, just on those two cards. But there's a lot more to go through. So let's continue. At the centre of the reading, we have the Empress. Well, this would be you if you are a feminine, or rather this is you. You are at the centre of everything. And crossing that is the Knight of Rods. I like to describe the Knight of Rods as around for a good time and not a long time. Now, in a way, perhaps that means that the interaction between probably a younger masculine and a more worldly, mature feminine is the dynamic here. And because the masculine didn't stay around for long enough, I think it's slightly hindered the feminine from being in her best energy. I think that's changing because I feel like the feminine's come to the end of this road, and I don't think that the lack of reconnection is going to hinder her for much longer. I think it has been hindering, and I think it's been preventing her from being fully in her best energy, but I really think that's changing. If you are a masculine watching, well, you know, this feminine is it for you. She is at the heart of everything. She is the only one in your mind and in your eye, I think. So what is preventing you from having this feminine is your own inability to form some sort of proper connection with her. And I think, you know, there's loads of reasons why that could happen. But I do think there is a younger masculine, older feminine dynamic at play here. And that's probably the main thing that's causing the problem. But there are other dynamics, obviously, within the Twinflame Collective. So let's go to the top of the deck. What is crowning the situation? It's the Tower. This is a major change, a blow up, an explosion, drama. It's crowning the situation. I think if you're a masculine watching, I think the only way you can view this is in the way that it is going to cause a massive upset and drama for everybody concerned. If you are the feminine watching, this feels a bit like a past energy or an energy that is moving past. It's sort of, this connection blew up your world for a period of time and you're coming out of it. You're not reeling from it anymore. I think for quite a long time you were reeling from it, but I think you're coming out of it now. So let's get a clarifier for the Tower. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a slightly scared laugh I've done just there. Judgment to clarify the Tower. Wow. I'm trying to think if you could have a more combustible combination, and I'm struggling to think of one. This connection was a very, very big deal. I feel like it's actually transformed both parties. I want to say that the irresistible quality here of the connection is what is keeping the two of you connected, but it's also what's keeping the two of you apart. Because one of you feels like it's time the other woke up and did something about this connection, and the other one is just too scared. And to me, it feels like the feminine wants the masculine to do something about bringing this connection back, and the masculine just can't do it. I think he knows full well what the connection is. And I think on some levels, for sure, he wants the connection back because you're right front and centre of everything for him. But he can't see a way to do it without it causing monumental upheaval for everybody and the wider community involved. So sadly, we're at an impasse here. Would I say you're losing hope? No, I think actually you're on the cusp of having lost hope of this connection coming back. And in a way, I think it's because you don't want to be hampered by this connection anymore. If you can't have it, you want to be able to move on. You don't want this masculine in your periphery anymore. And if you're the masculine watching, you still don't know what to do. No matter how many times you think about it, no matter how many ways you look at it, you can't work out what to do. What's in the hidden position, what's underneath, not clear, is there is heartbreak for both parties. I really would be amazed if anybody else knew about this connection in the way that it's impacted the two of you. I just don't think you're displaying it or talking about it to anybody at all. This heartbreak that you've been carrying, whether you're masculine or feminine, has been going on for quite a long time, and you've been shouldering it on your own, which is partly why we've nearly reached the end of it, because it's worn you out. What came with the Three of Swords is the card of victory, the Six of Wands, and the card of pride, the Four of Coins. The only way I can view this is that the heartbreak has been caused by one party's inability to be courageous and try and get this connection back, and I think it's their pride that is preventing them on one level. On one level, they don't want to. They don't want to admit what this is, and I think that's because probably the feminine, in the end, retreated, and I don't think the masculine likes it. I think there is an element of pride here, which means that on the one level, he can't see a way forward, but on another level, weirdly, he doesn't even want to admit it, even though he's heartbroken. And even though really there is a real sense here that this could be changed. This is the card of victory. So it's interesting. I think you know it's possible to try and get this connection back. I think you've been receiving multiple wake-up calls. I think you know it is just a case of putting your pride aside and being courageous to get the feminine back. I think you know that. But like I said before, you either can't see how to do it or you're not willing to do it. And it's because of these two issues. Pride being one and problems with the wider community being the other, which is a real shame. In the past position, we have the King of Pentacles. I think if you're a masculine, you've been focusing on boosting your wealth and your earning power. You've probably done a good job there. But I'm putting that in the past tense because it isn't really what you want. What you really want is for your wishes to come true. What you really want is the feminine of your dreams, the feminine that you have connected with, the feminine that you cannot stop thinking about, but also the feminine that you did not commit to. So, you know, there's no wonder that the masculine could be feeling completely, well, downtrodden, I suppose, downhearted. You know, we've got this card of the wounded warrior. We've got the heartbreak card. This masculine is not in a good place. And the feminine has come to the end of the road. I'm sure the feminine's come to the end here, because I think she's receiving wake-up calls as well. I think she knows that the connection would have been difficult to bring together and stay together, and because it hasn't, and she's not heard from the masculine for so long, I think the wake-up call for the feminine is different from the one for the masculine. I think it is just to shake it off, leave this connection in the past, and I think she will. In the future, we have the card of resistance. So I think both parties are resisting getting this connection back, but for completely different reasons. The feminine just isn't prepared to wait anymore, and the masculine has his pride to contend with and difficulties. So let's get clarifier for the Seven of Rods. Page of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Small gift, but a solid gift, an actual offer of something. So in the future position, we are resisting, giving in, or making contact, or resisting. There is resistance. Let's get another one. That's not that clear. Oh my goodness. Two of Cups. Right. I really wasn't expecting that. There is resistance to making any attempt to contact each other, even though this is a true love connection. There is real resistance here. But if I view it the other way round, all it would take is a very small gesture to remove the resistance and bring the pairing back together. Because although I said before, I think the feminine is ready to put this connection in the past and move forward, I actually think all it would take from the masculine is communication and a proper conversation and seeing how the land lies in order to actually reconnect fully and to be back in that energy with the masculine. However, I mean, if the energy is the same, it's one of no commitment, then it's not going to work. So this is what we're all aiming for at the end of the day, to be in partnership with somebody who meets you on every level. That's what we all want, and that's what you've got in the future. So whether or not that is with your twin flame, if actually you're viewing this video and you haven't met a twin flame yet, that could be a possibility. But if you're out of connection with a twin flame who's resisting communication, are you going to reconnect with them, or is this somebody else? It could go either way. I really think it hinges on what the masculine is prepared to do here. Don't get me wrong. The feminine is going to be going about her life. She is going to be putting aside thoughts of this masculine who did not want to connect. She is getting into her best energy, and she will be finding partnership with someone, whether it be them or not. And I think that is something that the masculine needs to consider, that she won't wait forever. The thing is this, if you approach her and she's still single, the chances of coming back into connection, if the masculine has changed his approach, are pretty good. But if you approach her and she's already in a connection, it's no go. That's not going to work. In the personal position, we have the Six of Pentacles. This is a shared energy. You're both feeling the same. I mean, we've already had this. You're both feeling heartbroken. That's not that clear. Let's get a clarifier for the Six of Pentacles in the personal position. Wheel of Fortune. And this top card wants to come too. Right, so we've got now Five of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Six of Pentacles. Well, the Wheel of Fortune is great. That is bestowing a real new fortunate energy on you, which means in a personal way, things are going to improve for you. The Five of Swords talks about choosing heartbreak, and I can't help feeling that that is the condition that has brought you to this point. One party retreated, they didn't want to, but they had no choice, and that actually caused heartbreak for both parties. So something is changing here. There is a new fortunate energy. The Wheel of Fortune is a wheel and it will deliver the fortunate energy. It'll keep rolling until it gets to its destination. So look out for this. Something good is going to be happening to both parties, I think. Right, so maybe there's an element of fate here. Maybe the Wheel of Fortune is going to bring the two of you together by chance, possibly. I could see that happening for sure, particularly if you've had absolutely no communication. I was going to say a period of time, but I wanted to say a number of years. So if you've not had communication for a number of years, I think this Wheel of Fortune is going to be allowing fate to bring you back together. In the home position, well, we have the Lovers. You're wanting love at home. You want a home for love. Are you in fact a lover? Probably not if you're not in connection. You know, these are big love cards. These are big partnership cards. And, you know, for me, the star goes along here with the Lovers. It's the same energy. It's a really beautiful picture. For me, these two are a pair, wishing to make that connection again, wishing to have it at home. Yeah. Oh, I just thought I'd look at the bottom of the deck, and now we have the Emperor. So we have the true connection. We have the pairing in the home position. This is what we want. The Emperor is also the card of courage. It's not just pride, he's also courage. Perhaps there is an indication that there is going to be a newfound level of courage coming into this connection, that the masculine here is going to take his courage and try to reconnect in a way that's actually going to change his life, is what I want to say, because it's going to change everything, including his home life. So that's quite encouraging, particularly if you're a feminine. It feels like the masculine is going to be doing something. Yeah. Once fate intervenes, perhaps. In the hopes and fears position, we have the High Priestess, hoping that your intuition is on point, fearing that the silence is going to continue. Yes, this feels like a feminine card to me. The High Priestess is the card of innate knowing. What do you know? Well, you know, if you're a feminine, you know this was a strong connection. You know it was going to cause problems with the wider family or community. You know that it wasn't going to be easy to get off the ground. You know that the masculine has pride in the way and he is doing nothing. You know all of that. You also know that if he was to come around and suggest having another go with a plausible enough plan to go forward, you would probably go with it. You know all of that, but you also know that he's not saying anything. You're sort of resigned to it. You're resigned to the fact that this is the way it has to be. So are you hoping for this to change? Yes. So are you hoping for communication? Yes. Are you fearing it's not going to change? Yes. Are you fearing there won't be communication? Yes. Have we got communication in the future position? Yes. So will there be communication? If the Wheel of Fortune has got anything to do with it, then I think the answer to that is yes. So if you've been hoping for communication, which I believe you have, it could well be coming in, but probably not the way you're expecting. I don't think you're going to receive a text from him anytime soon, but I do think there could be a way forward in the future where there is some reconnection slightly on some level, and then I think that will snowball, because the Wheel of Fortune wants to deliver the fate and fortune that you're hoping for. At the outcome, we have the Devil. This is an obsessive energy. It's also Capricorn. So if you are a Capricorn masculine or feminine, this would be a good place to find you at the outcome. It would indicate that you are very much coming into your own. If your person is a Capricorn, that might indicate that they are definitely coming back. But don't worry if you're not dealing with a Capricorn. This is an obsessive energy. It very much indicates the twin flame connection. What came with it is the Hanged Man, the card of trying to view things a different way round for enlightenment, and the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, feminine. So if you are a masculine and you have an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, it looks like you could very well be reconnecting with her. If you are a feminine of those signs, I think there is a good chance of that as well. But not necessarily. The Queen of Wands is the most dynamic queen, the most go-getting queen, the queen who will make changes, the queen who will think of everything to find the way forward, the queen who has the strong intuition. And the Hanged Man is gaining enlightenment. So I think I'm going back to where I started from, where I said I feel like the feminine is losing or lost all hope. I think that is because on a certain level she's practical, but also she's realised and recognised that this is going to be so hard. Is it actually a journey that she wants to take? It may never ever come back together, and that might be the best decision for everyone. Because this is an obsessive energy. But because it's an obsessive energy, it's very difficult to let go of. And that also needs to be addressed. Because if it's not coming back and the obsession is still there, then you cannot be in your best energy. And I believe that's the case for every feminine. So we're back to where we started, which was with the Empress at the centre being crossed by the Knight of Wands. So we've done a full circuit, really. There are some things that I believe have been happening here. Yeah, oh well, see, I just thought I'd look at the bottom of the deck now, and this is the Six of Cups. This is a card of nostalgia and reconnection, the soulmate card. So we've got a lot of love cards here. So we have the divine pairing, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but it's not enough on its own. I'm just going to put those two down here. There's been a lot of wake-up calls going on. This is difficult, and is it worth the effort? Well, I'm not sure that you both think it is anymore. The obsessive energy is still there. The true love connection is still there. The twin flame connection is still there. And the desire to be together is still there. But is it enough to bring you together? Well, it could be, because we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Star card here working together to try and reconnect this pairing. Is it going to work? Well, it's only going to work if the masculine is prepared to actually reconnect fully. That's the only way it's going to work. I think the feminine was happy to be connected in the first place. I don't think the fears and worries were hers as much as they were the masculine's. I think she can now recognise that actually it's going to be a very difficult road to travel down, and perhaps she doesn't want it anymore. But, you know, the choice is not really hers. I think if the masculine decides that he wants to come forward and reconnect, and it could be through a chance meeting, a chance conversation, that happens, then I think the feminine will be left with a choice to make, provided she's not in connection with somebody else, because that is a real possibility that I can see going forward. So an interesting reading. Does it feel like it's getting any closer to reconnection? I'm not sure, but I think I might ask that, actually. I might ask that question. Is reconnection coming soon? I'm not really getting any sense of, oh, wow. Yes. I was just going to say I'm not really getting any sense of timing with this reading. But if I ever take the Ace of Swords when I'm asking a question, the answer is a resounding yes. And the question was, is this connection coming back again soon? And we've got a yes. I don't think I'm going to take any other cards from the deck. I think there is a good chance that there will be some sort of reconnection, because the Ace of Swords is not just the sword of truth, it's also a sword of victory. You've got some strong cards working in your favour here. There is an element of fate at play. Fate and luck are working with you, because these two cards together talk of fate And the Ace of Swords is a very lucky card. So I think there is a real chance that this pairing could come back pretty soon. Well, I really hope so. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. And if you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.